Squirrel. Yes. I've been feeling like kind of a piece of shit lately, and I'd like to talk about it. Oh, okay. Tell me more. So there's been a lot in my community and in the news about the suffering of people of color. And if I am honest with myself, I don't think I've really done very much for people of color in my lifetime. I'm afraid it's much worse than that too, because my skin is light, my ancestry is mostly European, so I'm part of the group of people in this country who are responsible for a lot of the suffering of people of color. And you know what makes it even worse? Is that you're sitting here moping about it like a big baby. Ooh, I'm not comfortable with this conversation at all. Okay, and all of this makes you feel like a piece of shit. You know, I'm curious, what does feeling like shit feel like in your body? Tell me more. My face feels kind of hot. I have these sort of gross feelings in my chest and my stomach. I kind of want to just hide. Okay, there's quite a lot here. It sounds like you want to do more for people of color, for people who are suffering in your society. And you recognize that you've not done a great job of this so far. And because of this, you're feeling what sounds very much like shame to me. I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say, I'm not sure shame is a particularly useful human emotion. Oh, this sounds very problematic to me. Are you shitting me? This is where the spiritual bypassing starts. Okay, this is where we have to be impeccable with our words. I think we can all agree that if we know people in our community are suffering and we don't do anything to help them, that is bad. And if you are that person who has seen people in your community suffer and you didn't do anything about it, and what's worse, you're part of the system that's making them suffer, I think it's natural and healthy to take note of that and feel bad about that. But I'm sticking to what I said. I don't think shame is useful here. So with shame, you look at all that happened to you and you say, well, I am bad. I'm a bad person. I'm a piece of shit. The problem with that, and the reason why it's not very useful, is where do you go from there? Tell me, does a piece of shit apologize? Do they talk about what they did? Do they learn from their mistakes? Do they get better? Do they do better? No. It's a dead end. It's an excuse to do nothing. Or worse, it's an excuse to blame yourself or blame others, to make others suffer because you can't deal with it. Shame is this hideous, awful thing. Oh, okay. So you're basically giving him a pass? Bullshit! No, I'd like to advocate for another feeling. It's called guilt. Guilt and shame are not the same thing. Shame is, I am bad. Guilt is, I did bad. So with guilt, you can focus on the mistakes you made, the actions you did that were wrong actions. I have not done enough for the people of color in my community. I have not paid attention to their suffering. I have benefited from a system that has been hurting my neighbors. With guilt, you can give yourself permission to feel horrible about things you did, but you don't have to throw yourself out with the garbage. There's an important separation in guilt between your actions and your worthiness as a human being. With guilt, you can say, man, I fucked up. I hurt people. I wasn't living up to my values. But you can also say, you know what, I'm human. I'm still worthy of love. Maybe I even love myself. And guilt is not a negative emotion like shame is. Think about what guilt is. It's discomfort when you did something wrong. And unlike shame, that leaves you in the garbage dump, guilt gives you the direction for the way out. You can alleviate guilt by making it right. From a place of guilt, you can apologize. Hey, I fucked up. I'm sorry about that. And then you can make amends. What can I say or do to make this right? And since you're not in the garbage dump, there's much more opportunity for openness, for conversation, for reconciliation, for learning, growth. So when you feel guilt, you can follow that feeling back into the light. Whereas shame is a hole you fall down. It's just darkness. And so my question to you is, which one of these feelings, shame or guilt, is actually going to help the people that you want to help in the first place? And also, which one of these feelings is going to put you in a better position to help? Which one's going to give you the energy and courage and strength that you need to show up for your neighbors?